which is to select a speech with a specific and general purpose, project sincerity and conviction, and strive not to use notes. Neil is passionate about all things outdoors. The beauty, serenity, and peacefulness one can achieve while enjoying the greater outdoors brings him a sense of calmness. The outdoors has a way of reminding us how insignificant we are. He likes to challenge himself physically while enjoying the great outdoors, but is aware that Mother Nature can be brutally objective. He is fully aware that Mother Nature is in charge while exploring the great outdoors. Nevertheless, Neil tries not to take anything too seriously and always looks for a humorous side to any situation. He hopes you enjoy this humorous foray into the sport of hunting. For you animal rights activists in the room, he would like to assure you that no animals were harmed or killed on this particular hunting excursion. In fact, the only thing that was hurt was Neil's pride. The speech is titled, "Tim, Where Are the Elk?" And it will be 7 to 9 minutes long. Please welcome him.
He says 7 to 9. Yeah. It's supposed to be 5 to 9. Yeah.
Tim?
5 to 7.
Where are the elk? A peculiar question coming from a guy from New Jersey. However, after taking up fly fishing, horseback riding, what the hell? Why not take up elk hunting? After all, elk don't live in ugly places. They live in our beautiful, pristine mountains. They live surrounded by brilliant, vivid yellow aspen groves. They live amongst fragrant conifers. And invariably, there is almost a bubbling stream running through a meadow nearby. However, there was one major obstacle. Much like horseback riding, I didn't know diddly squat about hunting. So, got me some books, watched a lot of Realtree outdoor videos with Michael Waddell, and I just tried to learn about the sport of hunting. So, as I learned about the sport of hunting, I realized one thing my learnings had taught me, and that was you needed a hunting buddy. You see, everybody on the Sportsman Channel had a hunting buddy, so you don't need a hunting buddy. But ladies and gentlemen, I implore you, choose your buddy wisely. You see, I chose Tim, and I did not choose wisely. Now, a little about Tim. You see, it's always all about Tim. Tim grew up, Tim flew fighter jets in the Air Force, so he had a rather large ego. Now, his nickname in the Air Force was Gusty. I'm going to come back to that. And there's something about Tim that we now call the Tim factor. You see, it's kind of like the bullshit index, because Tim's adventures are always totally awesome. So I got a call from Tim the week before July 4th, and Tim's wanting to take the horses up to Lambert Meadows. Now, Lambert Meadows is about 15 miles north of Moon Lake, in the Higher Winter Wilderness area. And I told Tim, chances of me getting a kitchen pass were pretty much slim to none because it's Andrea's birthday on July 4th. But nevertheless, being an eternal optimist, Andrea comes home from work, I greet her at the door with a glass of wine, say, honey, wouldn't you like to do something a little different on your birthday? Maybe do some camping with Tim and Sherry? Her response wasn't just no, it was hell no. I am not spending 4 days in a tent with Gusty. You see, Tim got his name Gusty not because he flew through heavy winds or turbulence. He got his name Gusty because of his enormous capacity to break wind. So I could not fault her for not wanting to spend 4 days in a tent with Gusty. Nevertheless, Tim and Sherry supposedly took their horse Phantom up to Lambert Meadows. Now, I get the call on Tuesday morning. Yeah, you should have seen it. There was grass up to Phantom's belly. There was deer so big I thought they were elk. there was an elk that'll certainly put us in the Boone and Crockett record book. So we promptly made plans to set up camp well before elk hunting season. We brought in, over Labor Day weekend, we brought in tents, we bought in cooking supplies, we bought in hay, we bought in grain. But one thing that kind of made me a little nervous was as we were heading up the trail, when it came to intersections, Tim seemed a little nervous. He didn't seem like he knew which way to go. So I didn't really pay it much mind, but we got out to Lambert Meadows, and the grass was eaten down to the roots. There was nothing. And I hadn't seen any fresh elk turds, hadn't seen any antler rubs on the trees. I even chided Tim around the campfire saying, "Tim, so where are all the elk?" He responded, "Neil, you just wait and see. They're in here. We're both going to come out of here with 350 to 380 class bulls." Didn't know nothing about hunting. I was wanting to just get my first bull, so I was pretty happy. So, fast forward now about 5 weeks. It's about 2 days before elk hunting season. And so I called Tim the night before and spoke with Tim, and now we agreed to go in light, which meant to me we're taking our rifles and we are taking some extra clothes at night to keep warm. So I was surprised to see Tim roll up to my house with an extra horse and tow. And Tim explained, "Well, it'd be nice to have some extra comforts at home while we're up there." The only problem I saw with this was they were all comforts for Tim. They were a cot for Tim. They were a camp chair for Tim. They were a heater for Tim. They were a pillow for Tim. I didn't pay much mind, and I was like, all right, we'll do this. But what I did pay some mind to was how skittish this renter horse was. I even asked Tim, "So Tim, where'd you get this horse?" And he replied, "Oh, guy down at the stables rented to me, gave me a great deal. Said he just needs some trail experience. Solid horse, just needs trail experience." I thought to myself, that's code for this horse has never stepped foot on a trail. So, finally get the horse in the trailer. 4.5 hours later, we're at the Moon Lake Trailhead. We're loading up the horses, packing up our gear. We're about 300 yards down that trail. When that rent-a-horse takes off into a running, bucking tirade, the likes of which I am still in awe of today. Needless to say, Tim's gear is scattered all over the trail. I had, with some sense of self-satisfaction, I even checked myself. Tim's walking around picking up his stuff, cussing that rent-a-horse, and just kind of chuckling, taking it all in. So we finally arrived at our campsite. And we arrived there, and we just dined on some exquisite mountain house dehydrated food, which we chased down with some equally exquisite boxed Merlot. The next morning, we get up and we decide we're hiking up to the ridgeline, and we're going to glass for those ever elusive elk. We're glassing for 5, 6, 7 hours. We ain't seen nothing but a goddamn squirrel. So we decide we're heading back down to the camp to grab some lunch. He had down to our camp, but lo and behold, there's Tim's horse. Tim had hobbled his horse. Now mine I put in an electric enclosure with the rent-a-horse. And, so they could graze and get some water. There was a stream nearby. And that electric enclosure was mangled. And my horse, nor the rent-a-horse, was nowhere to be seen. So Tim was quick to blame my horse for the prison break. But I was pretty sure that it was his skittish rent-a-horse that had caused the prison break. So we looked at the trail and we saw horseshoe prints heading down the trail, and we deduced that horses were heading down toward the trail. Tim quickly saddled up Phantom and took off at a gallop, and I ain't got no horse, so I grabbed some lead ropes, grabbed some halters, and started walking down the trail hoping to find the horses nearby. Well, we found the horses, all right. More correctly, Tim found the horses. 15 miles later, right next to my trail. I had walked 15 miles and had blisters on the back of my feet the size of silver dollars. So you would have thought that we decided to sleep in the trailer. You would have thought that Tim the next morning would have said, "Tim, Neil, why don't you take Phantom up? Your feet are killing you." I asked Tim, and he was like, "This horse is a handful. You'd be much safer walking." So we finally arrived at camp, get up there, and we hunted for 4 more days without hearing so much as an elk bugle or even a cow chirp. And I tried to remain optimistic, but every night in camp I'd ask Tim, so where exactly did you see these horses? Or see these elk? And he's like, oh, we just gotta hunt harder. They're in here, they're in here. Well, by day 5, my feet could take no more. So I packed up my stuff, was heading down the trail. And we're heading down the trail, and there's a cutoff to Addison Basin. And coming up the trail, there's a guy riding a horse, an old weather-beaten cowboy, was ponying another horse. He looked kind of surprised to see us way back in there. And not only was he surprised, he looked lonely. He looked like he wanted to converse. He said, Neil, I didn't know my name. He just said, so what are you boys doing way back up in here? I said, well, we're hunting elk. He said, you dumb sons of bitches. There ain't no elk up here. We raise sheep up here. They eat the grass right down to the roots. We have to pull our damn sheep out because there ain't no feed. So, anyway, I turned and looked at Tim with daggers in my eyes, and I said, Tim, I suppose those was elk and sheep's clothing you saw. The remaining ride down to the truck was strangely quiet. Tim's bloviating had ceased. I was fuming, and Tim could sense that if he pissed me off any further, he was surely to be walking home. So I implore you, when you take up a new sport, choose your buddy wisely. You don't want to end up with a Gusty.
An all-that sport. So,
If it's overused.
Wonderful story, Neil. Thank you for sharing. Keep the gusties away. Take a moment.